delighted to be back with you again today, this glorious day. It's raining outside. I love the rain. Do you like the rain? I love the way it smells. I love the way it sounds. I love the way it feels. I just love the rain. Hello, I'm Paula Andrea Pyle, and this is Mode of Cosmic Therapy for any and all of you who have never seen this show before. That's the name of it. Mitzi, hello, darling. So glad to see you behind the camera as always. And Sandy in the control room, I know you got it holding down the fort as always too. Mitzi, I'm here and always. Wonder what in the world always is going to have to do with this particular show. For any of you who have watched me, you know what I do. Well, that's good that you know, because I certainly don't. I don't have a clue, and I don't ever want to have a clue as to what it is that I'm going to do. But you see all this stuff here? These beautiful, beautiful flowers? These gorgeous, gorgeous flowers? Do you see them? Do you pay attention to them? Do you recognize the grandeur in them? Do you? Do you absolutely see these flowers and how beautiful they bloom? The colors, the fragrance, the texture, the shape, the purpose, the function, the sex. What, Paula? What'd you say? I said sex. I said, do you see God's ineffable sexual expression flowing through, emanating, saturating, pulsating, projecting, penetrating through the earth in these magnificent flowers? Yep, that's what they do. They do it, and they do it well. And they don't think about whether or not they did it right, because with each bloom, it is perfectly right. Perfectly right. And so are you. Each and every time that you think, speak, act, love, get mad, get indignant, get arrogant, get pissed off. All of it's part of this beautiful, beautiful arrangement of flowers. See, because you can't just decide that something that is appealing to you is all that's supposed to be. It takes a whole lot of other things. Do you know how much manure it takes on this soil to make these flowers grow and bloom? Do you know? Well, what is manure? It starts with an S and ends with a T. It has an H and an I in it. Hi! So how much of that S-T with a hi in the middle do you allow into your life? Or do you constantly try to monitor and measure and compare? Compare, Paula? Yeah. You know, like, oh, those other people are really happy and satisfied and they're doing very well and they're successful, but I'm not. Let me see, which one of these flowers do you think would say that to the other? Which one of these flowers, which one of these blooms would be concerned with how he or she or it is appearing in the rest of the bunch? It takes it all, every single bit, to make this glorious, glorious display. And you too are part of a glorious display with all of the S ending in T with a hi in the middle. But you don't like that part, right? You don't like those times when it looks like things are going wrong or that things are not manifesting fast enough for you. Why? Because you have ideas as to how fast or how much it's supposed to be showing up in your life? Well, the truth is, Mitch, I'm going to get real serious now. The truth is, nothing shows up in your life before you are ready for it. What'd you say, Paula? I said nothing shows up in your life until you are ready for it. If it did, what could you do with it? What possible situation could you invent in order to incorporate that which you were not ready to receive? Well, here's the deal. You miss a whole lot of things like that because you say, I want this, I want that. In fact, there may be times when you're even praying. Did you hear me? You're praying. You're praying for these things to come about. You think that you want something to transpire, but you have no idea, no clarified, I was thinking about butter and clarifying it, but you have no clarified idea as to what it is that you want or need in your life. Paula, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Is it? Is it really? Oh, then how come do you spend your time, and you've done this since you've been alive, how come you would, if you were honest, say to me that you've missed some opportunities? Or that somebody else got something, some kind of raise or position, or even a guy or girl, or both, that you were supposed to have but didn't get. Or you lost something, a position, a guy or girl, that you were supposed to have. Now, how many times has that happened to you in your life? Well, you're going to say that it did happen, and I'm going to say you were not ready for it. Anything that does not transpire in your life, or it looks like it's a missed opportunity of some sort, is because you were not ready to incorporate it. Oh, yes, I am, Paula. I want that particular person in my life. I know that if I had him or her, I could be so happy. I could make him or her very, very happy, and we would just be, in harmony, and we would be sexually stimulatingly fulfilled. These are all ideas you have in your head. They are not realities. Well, what is reality, Paula? Reality is whatever it is that is taking place in your life at this moment, exactly and precisely as it is happening, with whomever it is happening with. With whomever it is happening with. I heard two withs there. What I've heard, Mitzi, so far, because for any of you who've never seen me before, what I do, I'm going to take some words that jump out, and I'm going to dissect them up here on this board in just a moment. Because words are alive. We create our reality out of the words we use. If we are using condemning words, what do we have but a life of condemnation? If we are using worrying words, what are we creating but a life of worry and concern and misery? Yeah, that's what we're doing. And if we're using words of praise and enthusiasm and gratitude, what kind of life are we creating? But a life of joy and bliss and harmony and happiness and integration. Integration, meaning we are not praying for something to be added to our life or removed, because our lives are exactly and precisely as perfect as they can be for the moment that we are. Now, 10 years from now, we may be totally different in a frame of mind than we are now. Or we may be, if you could measure it, but you can't, we may have regressed, progressed, digressed, ingressed. We may have done all of those things. But whatever is happening at this moment is happening in this moment. And that is the only moment that you're in. The past does not exist. The future does not exist. This is it. This is it. The full measure. 4 down. 4 down. Anyway, I heard always. I heard rain. I heard with. Those 3 words I've heard very strong. So I'm going to take those words and go up there to that paper, and I'm going to break them down with the science of numerology, because letters are alive. If I could stress anything else while I'm doing these shows, that's the one thing that I would love to get across. That letters are alive, as much alive as I am. Letters are flames of nitrogen, if you will, and they burn within our souls, or from our souls, or to our souls, or on top of our souls, messages, coded messages, just like the DNA that is inscripted inside of you, making you who you are. Letters that form words create our reality, and yet we use words so haphazardly. More than that, let me just stop a minute. We use words habitually. We're lazy in the sense that we keep repeating the words. So if we repeat the words, then that would mean we're repeating the constructions of our particular reality. If we can't use another word, then we can't inhabit another reality. We want to continue to reinforce this familiar reality, because we're so insecure and we don't want to face what we are afraid of might be facing us in the unknown. Stupid. You know, every breath we take is unknown, because we don't know if we're going to take it or not. But again, we are so high-minded and so deliberately determined that we're not going to think from our soul, that is, that life is mysteriously wonderful and hidden with treasure if we want to unlock it. And how do we unlock it? Well, you know, I play games. I play games all the time because I look for the hidden meanings locked within words. Locked within words. Okay, so I started off with rain. Rain. Let's see what rain has got to do with today. Rain. 18, I'm using the letters from numerology. The consonants are going to be down here. The vowels are going to be up there. And each one of them hold a numerical value. That A is a 1. That 9, the I is a 9. And the N is 14. Now sometimes you'll see me and I'll do words and I will add them up deliberately wrong. Sometimes you will see me spell words deliberately wrong. Sometimes not so deliberately. And yet the same message, even if I tried not to convey this message, will be conveyed in spite of me. What am I saying, Paula? I am saying you're going to live the life that you're supposed to live in spite of you and all of your efforts in trying to change it, direct it, or call it into being in another way. Maybe rain is going to tell us something about that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, 1 and 9 is 10. I'm going to add them together. These are the heart. The consonants are the heart. Let's see, why in the world? Brand new markers. Brand spanking new. Look at that, faded out. Okay, what have we got? We got an 18 and a 14, and all day long, that's a 32. Woo! Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 42. What are you going to do with 42? Let's see. We got the Wheel of Fortune taking place in rain. Yes, we do. And we have, when you take that, of course, that's the movement. And it is also the Hierophant. Now, The Hierophant in the tarot cards, oh yes, I do use the tarot cards. Those beautiful artistically created cards of ancient days to convey certain messages as well. But the Hierophant represents, if you would, the Pope. Okay, he represents someone that possesses somewhat of a spiritual, religious connotation and a way of life that he or she could impart to elevate people. You like that? Well, that's pretty much what life is about. Life is about you meeting each and every situation as if there's a lesson attached to it and a certain, like food, some kind of sweet savor that you've got to pull from it after digesting it. Wow, all of that with rain. Rain's going to water the earth. Rain's going to give us that nourishment that we need in order to survive. Rain does all that. Rain does all that. 42. 42. What are you going to do with 42? Well, the first thing you're going to do with 42 is you're going to face conflict. In the outside world? Yes? No? Inside. First. All conflict comes from within. Let me see if I can get another pen that writes a little bit better than that one. That one's kind of dried out. Let's try blue. Conflict, 42. Now, in your life, if we're going to talk about that Wheel of Fortune, you've seen me do this before. You know, you go around the wheel, like a merry-go-round. Then there comes time for you to get off. But you start up here, or you think you're starting up here. Here you are. You think this is success. You have deemed that you are successful. Well, you're going to sit up there for a while, but then the Wheel of Fortune said,